Hello everyone, Ceri Griffiths here, or some of you know me, Ceri the Crafter. That's probably backwards on the screen, isn't it? Okay, first of all, it's a miserable, rainy, wet day here in Wales, and I've had to turn the electric lights on, so forgive me if the light quality is not as I would normally like, but I'm sure for this video it's not really going to matter because this is a video where basically I'm doing more talking than doing. So, this video should have launched, well, it should have been filmed and launched a few weeks ago. However, with workloads, product launches, big craft shows that I was working at, and also I went down with a really nasty cold virus here in Britain, which laid me low for a couple of weeks. I'm behind the eight ball. I did manage to do a bit of a soft launch of what I'm going to talk to you about on Facebook, but that was about all I could manage to do. Now, for over a year now, you've heard me talk about wanting to create collage prompts, and I've promised them in July and I didn't get them done in time. Well, I did, but I wasn't quite ready for them to be done, and I wanted to look through them more. I gave them to a friend of mine, Jane, thank you very much, Jane, who tested them for me to make sure that they were actually, that they made sense, that the whole system made sense. And then I noticed that my subscriber count was getting close to 70,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. Yes, I work very hard at my YouTube channel, but I would be nothing without you. If I'm making videos for nobody, it doesn't benefit me. And it's a joy to share, and I love doing what I do, and to have the reward of a huge subscriber count, it just helps me believe more in me and my confidence and my ability to teach and share, and you know, the whole package. So anyway, so I wanted to celebrate that in a way that would benefit more than one or two people, because I did consider doing a giveaway, although some would argue this is a giveaway, and I thought, oh, shall I make a journal and send it out? Shall I make ephemera and send it out to several people? Should I do that rotating ball thing or the comment picker? And I thought, you know what, 70,000 people, even if half those people joined in, that's 35,000 people. Even with my meager math, I can work that one out. And then maybe two people win something. And I went, no, I want to do more. So I was looking around the craft studio thinking, what can I do, what can I? And I saw my paperwork for the prompts. I went, you know what? I always intended to give them away freely. I never wanted to charge for them. They were always meant to be a free item, and I thought, great, this is a perfect opportunity because a lot of you are collage people, and prompts can be used in very many different ways. So anyway, let's cut this story a little bit shorter, shall we? So what I've done is, it took some doing because I'm not an IT person, and it took some research to find out how to do it. I've now added a blog page to my website. Link is going to be below. And one of the blogs is called 100 Free Perpetual Prompts for Collages. And I've already forgotten what I called it. 100 Perpetual Collage Prompts. 100 Free Perpetual Collage. You'll see it in the title. It's obvious. It's the name of the blog. If you read down the blog, and I'll go over what was in the blog and why it's there in a moment. If you go towards the bottom of the blog, you're going to have options. Number one, you can have a PDF version. So if you've got Adobe Reader that reads PDFs, you can click on that and print it off. You'll end up with a page and a half of prompts, totally free from me. It's PDF. If, however, you don't deal with PDFs, you deal with JPEGs, which are an image-based document, which I think most of the world can open, you're going to have to click button 1 for page 1, button 2 for page 2, because I couldn't work out how to get 2 pages into one image. So again, not a techie person, people, not a techie person, but I managed to do it. So basically you click those. I think you can either open them up and just print them from whatever print system you've got, or you can download them from there and print them. Now, they are free. They're a gift from me to you as a thank you. How you use them is up to you, although I did put guidelines in for where the idea came from to do this in the first place, and that I'll go over in a minute. However, know that as with all art, there are no rules, in my opinion. There are guidelines, and guidelines are created by people who are experienced, or masters at their craft who will say to the art world, actually, if you keep doing this, it's not going to work. But if you do this, you'll get better results. They're guidelines. I don't believe there's rules for art. Now, where did this all come from? I liked doing prompt challenges with collage. A couple of years ago, I did this, which is the Marguerite Miller weekly collage prompt challenge. I absolutely loved and adored it, and I'll put a link to the flip through of this. There is actually a playlist as well for me doing every single page. That's your choice. I'm not linking all that, but I will definitely link the flip through because it might spark some ideas. I absolutely adored this, but I did have a problem. I lead a very busy life. I mean, I hold down a part-time job. I run an online shop. I run a successful YouTube channel. I'm also a designer for a company in America. I also have products with another company here in the UK. There's a lot going on in my life. So I really struggled to do it as a weekly challenge. Now, I did it. I held it out for a year. Every one of these pet spreads is actually a weekly challenge. As I said, I absolutely love this, but the pressures of doing a weekly challenge were just too much. I managed to complete the year, loved that I did it. Thank you, Marguerite Miller. It was a perfect idea. It helped me develop as a collage artist, or that side of my art and it helped, really did help me understand more of my style at the time of doing that. Now, I couldn't keep up with a weekly collage challenge going forward, which is why I never did again. Now, some would say, oh, but you can use the prompts and do them whenever you want. Yes, you could. However, for me, Marguerite Miller is a weekly challenge. So if I don't do it weekly, I'm failing. I know I'm not failing. It's the way my anxiety plays games with my brain. I'm a black and white person. You either do it right or you don't do it at all. So I thought, right, so shall I do a monthly collage prompt set for you all? And I thought, well, no, because some people do have time. So this is where the word perpetual came into it. I created 100 prompts that are very much open to interpretation. I'll show you what I've done. I've got some here. I'll read some to you so you can see where my brain was going. And I thought, right, they're a useful resource. So say you're having one of those days where you want to be in your art space or your creative space and you want to do something, but you just don't know what to do. Pull out the prompts. It could be that you set your own challenge. You go, I'm going to do this once a month. I'm going to do it every other week. I'm going to do it whenever we're on a full moon. You call the shots. You do what you wish to do. So the guidelines I had were download or print the prompts out, cut them out. They're in little strips of paper about yay big by yay big. You could just cut them out, fold them and put them in a jar and just pull 5 prompts at a time out, and that's fine. And then when you've used the prompt, put it back in the jar, because the chances of you pulling the same combination of 5 prompts again is pretty low. I'm no mathematician, but when you multiply 100 by I don't do it, brain doesn't function that way. So what I did is I did this. Now this is what I described that I did in the blog. I also said on there, you can totally ignore what I did. I got tongue depressors, and what I did, because I thought, I'm going to do this once, I don't need to do it again, and I stuck the prompts onto tongue depressors, and that way I stuck them on with matte medium, and that way they're not really going to get damaged. And if they do get damaged, I can just print that word again and stick it over the top of this one. So put all of these, and I put these 100 tongue depressors in a bag. Now, my aim is to eventually find a jar that I can just sit them in with them all sticking out the top, because the bag is great, but the tendency with the bag is I'm beginning to throw it into a drawer in a cupboard when actually I want the prompts on view. So maybe I'm having one of those days where I'm just like, what am I going to do today? I want to create, but I'm in a slump and I've hit that barrier where I don't feel creative. Then maybe that will catch my eye. If it's in the drawer or cupboard, I'm not going to see it. If it's on a shelf, even if put a label on the side of the jar saying 100 perpetual prompts, or just put collage prompts, or just prompts on the jar, or the ceramic, I've got one over here, oh, can't reach it. That I just realised I've got a kitchen utensil thing I found in a charity shop. I might fit them in there actually. So anyway, so the core things are, you pull out 5 prompts, your choice. You can pull out 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 3, 4, whatever you choose. In my world, I have to use those 5 prompts. No putting some back and pulling another one out until you find what you want. That's not really a challenge. If I stick with the 5, then it forces me to think outside of the box and maybe discover something new. Now, what I wanted to do, have I got a book? I don't have a book, right? Let's just use the Marguerite Miller one. My initial thought, and I did have a discussion with Marguerite Miller about this because I didn't want to tread on her toes. She's the one who first introduced me to collage prompts. I did talk to her about all of this, and she said, that's a fabulous idea, go with it. So so I have talked to Marguerite Miller about this. So let's find one that's relatively okay to look at, right? Okay, so pretend this collage isn't here. Okay, so what I was thinking is, you pull out your 5 prompts, you create a collage on this page. Use a recycled book, use a sketchbook, use a piece of folded paper, do it on any size, anything you like. This page, however, I mean, the ideal thing would probably be something like a composition notebook. And on this page, for me, as you can see, I use words in my collage, and they're really important because they convey a message, an emotion, a feeling, anything like that. So I thought, right, collage on this page, and on this page, maybe write a word that inspired you to do this, or maybe write how you're feeling, or maybe use it as a gratitude journal, and every time you do this, you write down 3 things you're grateful for. If you're someone who's a churchgoer, say, put your favourite psalm on there, put your favourite saying. Maybe on that page, write down how you were feeling that day, or how the collage made you feel, or anything you discovered or you thought. You get my meaning. Basically, try and combine words with collage. Now, you can forget that completely if you want, and if all you want to do is a collage, you do the collage. I'm just giving you a resource to be able to be creative when you're hitting those slumps in the road. And as there's 100 of them, and believe me, it took me a long time to sort out which words I wanted to use. As there's 100 of them, there's a lot of combinations. I mean, I can't do the math of how many combinations of 5 can be within 100 before you would start repeating. My brain does not function on that level. So let's have a little look at some of the words. I'll just pull some out at random and I'll call them out to you and say what they are. Right. The first one I pulled out was new life. Okay, new life. It doesn't always mean babies. New life could be the germination of a seed. It could be a bird coming from an egg. It could be an exploding star. It could be germs on a Petri plate. It could be fish spawn. It could be tadpoles. Do you see? It could be the first shoot of grass coming through after the rain falls. So you can interpret it any way you wish. Try to think what the obvious one is, and then forget the obvious and go somewhere else. So that's new life. Right, what's the next one? What's that? Imagined. Now, if that isn't a perfect prompt or whatever. So basically, for me, imagined is create something in your collage that's completely from your imagination. It could be you take, let's see, how can you do this? You take a collage of, say, a man's body, you cut his head off, and you stick, instead of his head, you put a flower there, and in the middle of the flower, you draw eyes, nose, and a mouth. Or maybe you take, and I've seen Nicole do this umpteen times from Relax Cut Glue, maybe you take a dog's head and you put the dog's head on an angle or something. Imagine it. Maybe have fun. Sketch something imaginary, maybe a space alien, maybe a space creature, and add that. So it's something that you've imagined, or imagine your background. Now, each of the pages, you put the 5 prompts on, completely up to you. You can create a background to put them on. You could put them on their own. As long as the 5 prompts are present, you can add to them. You can do backgrounds, you can add more prompts. If you go, oh, I want another prompt, you pull prompt number 6 out. No one's checking on you. There's no prompt police here. Go ahead and do what you want. It's just there to try and spark, sort of kickstart that imagination, that creativity when you're stuck. So let's have another look. Look at another one. What one was this? Art. Seriously? Okay, if you can't find something to collage with the word art, maybe you and I need a serious talk. Okay, what's the next one? Jewellery. Okay, there's so much jewellery in just regular magazines that you get freebies, especially catalogues. There's bound to be something there for jewellery, although it doesn't have to be jewellery. It can be goldsmiths, it can be miners, it can be costumes, it can be the crystals that the jewels are made from. It can be gold, it can be silver, it can be platinum, it can be anything at all, because jewellery can be a string of shells on a piece of cord. It can be rhinestones on a showgirl's costume. There are so many things you can word for jewellery. So let's do one more, and then I think we're going to wind up because this is already heading towards 20 minutes. Okay, this is a good one. Jar, tin or bottle label. Every one of us has products in our kitchen. Maybe it's time, when you're starting to recycle, you think, oh, I'll just take the label off that tin, or I'll just take it off the side of that can, or I'll just take the label off the front of that maple syrup bottle because it's pretty. Do you know what I mean? Start thinking about the things you're finding in your everyday life and their resources. I mean, we very much will go to people like, no, I won't name people, that would be wrong with me. We go to sites to get digitals of labels. We go to certain craft sites to buy vintage looking labels. We go to Etsy and we search labels. But to be honest with you, all around us are things that are labels or could potentially become a label. Now, also, a label isn't necessarily a thing that you have to stick down from a tin. You could take the label from a tin, you could then possibly go over the top of it with ink and maybe emboss it. You can make a label more, is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to just peel it off, stick it down. Oh, I've done that one. Be creative with it. Maybe on the collage page you want to create a pocket. Maybe in that pocket you want to put a tag and then you put that inside. Now, another thing I would really like to do, or a few things I think you should do, if you're putting these in a composition book or a repurpose book or an art book or a journal book or a sketchbook or whatever book you're doing, I would say every time you complete it, sign it and date it. Number one, it's your art. Your art, you should sign your art. Date it because maybe you do this for a year or two. Going back, if you flick through, as I did with this, I mean, let's see, what was my very first page? That was my very first page. Okay, by the time I got close to the end, where was the end? Actually, that's probably a better, and then my art turned into that sort of look. You will develop, you will get your own style, you will fit into a style of creating that is uniquely yours. So just play. No one needs to see it. No one needs to see this at all. It's completely yours. But I would say date and sign it. Now, I actually, as I said, my friend Jane test wrote this for me. And what she did is she's got a little tiny book and she wrote down what the prompts were for each one of them. You don't need to do that. But if you're that sort of person who wants to do that, then maybe find some way of incorporating those 5 words into your collage as well. Or maybe those 5 prompts are the words that are on the opposite page. Maybe put them down as titles, and then under each title, what did you think of it? So let's see, jewellery. So I put jewellery down, and under jewellery I went metal or crystal miners, jewellers, jewel clamps, showgirls. And then under the next one, jar, bottle, tin, label, I went, right, I looked at tins, jars, bottles, vintage, antique. The next one, which was art. Art, what did I look at? I look at art masters, contemporary, cubism, art supplies. Make a list of the things that came into your mind, and you never know, one day when you're actually stuck, you can get back and go, what did I think about the last time I got this prompt, or did I get the prompt at all? So, right. As a favour to me, what I would like you to do, if you have no objection to do it, if you are someone who shares your art and creativity on Facebook, by all means, tag me in on your post and just do, I think, is it hashtag or? No, it's at, isn't it? It's the little at symbol. Do at Ceri Griffiths Creative Designs. Then it should come up on my feed, because I'd be interested to see what you do with my prompts. If you're someone who has a YouTube channel, I would really appreciate it if you do this. First of all, I'm not sure whether you can tag me in any YouTube for me to see it, but what I would say is in your description box, if you could just put my YouTube channel at Ceri Griffiths, I kept it really basic with the YouTube channel, but if you can do that, then there's a good chance that the algorithm for YouTube might throw that up, that I will be able to see it. So anyway, it'd be nice to see what you guys are doing. I know that Gail Augustinelli has already done a couple of them, and I'm loving the fact that she's doing them live. So she's like, right, she added another twist in the tail for her. She's pulls her 5 prompts, and then she has to use whatever she can reach from where her desk is, which is another whole layer, but hey, go for it, Gail. What you did looked fabulous. So that was a big thank you from me. Sorry this is really wordy 25-minute video. It was a very wordy explanation. Will I be doing videos of me doing the prompts? I do not have plans of doing videos of this. However, if I have chance in 2024 to throw in a few bonus videos, which I will be doing, then I may very well pull out 5 prompts on my own, and periodically I'll go, okay guys, I'm going to do my own collage prompts this week, just because I enjoy doing collage. I enjoy doing the big one, but sometimes that takes a lot more prep and time to do, which is why I haven't done it for a while. So that's all, guys. I have to say, huge thank you to all my subscribers. It gives me confidence to believe in what I believe in. It warms my heart when I do get the comments from you that I have had a positive effect on your own creative journey. I know when we went through the pandemic, I had lots of private messages from you guys saying, thank you, Ceri, it was nice to have a friend in the craft room when I was working, because of course we were all in lockdown. Oh, excuse me, a bit of a coughing fit, bit of a hangover from the cold. I did obviously edit that bit out. You didn't see me choking to death. Yeah, my subscriber count to me is really important. YouTube says it's a vanity count. I disagree. I completely disagree with YouTube on that front. I think for us as creators, it's wonderful to know that many people believe in us, that many people come back and will take the time and the effort to stop, watch our videos, comment on them. I released a video a few months ago saying that I read all my comments, but I've got to the point where I can't answer all my comments. So as I said back in that video, I now put a little heart if I've read it. I will always acknowledge it, but I will only, if you give me a question or you need advice or it's something that takes an answer that's written, I will do it. A lot of the time I'll just say things like, thank you, or thank you so much, or have fun, or wonderful, or it's nice to hear, or I will probably do really short answers, and the same will be for this as well. And that is speeding my process up, but it's a bottomless pit of comments. When you reach a certain subscriber count, it kind of gets to the point where you pretty much need to employ someone to answer the comments, and I won't ever do that, because if you're taking the time to ask or talk to me, then it should be me who's answering. Anyway, thank you very much to all of you. Remember, there'll be a link to the Marguerite Miller flip through, this big tome. That'll be in the description box. I will put a link to my blog page as well. Now, there's only 3 blogs on there at the moment. There might be 4 by the time this gets edited and launched. I will be doing a monthly blog as well. It'll usually be around me, my life and creativity and art, and it'll be whatever I decide it to be on that day. So thank you very much, guys. So guess who I am? I'm Ceri Crafter, and I'm signing off for the moment. So thanks, guys, and thank you once again. I'm so pleased to be at 70,000. Maybe this time next year we'll be celebrating a silver button on that wall behind me. Maybe we'll get one of those triangle things you get for 100,000. Wouldn't that be amazing? So, okay, you take care, guys, and I'll speak to you when I speak to you. Thank you.